9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Monday, everybody. This is your PR princess, your timeless elite, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me on this Monday edition with the aftermath of Saturday night's main event. We have AEW Redemption this weekend. Obviously, of course, we're continuing tournament of the TNA Knockouts TV tournament. So lots of stuff happening. So shout out to Eric, Isaac in the chat. Super chats are open, so feel free to put in where you are from, anything else to get you through it. And since our producer from the future has been patiently waiting, we're just going to give you the Raw preview at the top of the hour tonight on Netflix at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't have graphics for these, but courtesy of Adam Pierce, we are going to kick off with Seth Rollins after the fallout from Saturday night's main event. We're going to hear what Seth Rollins has to say after the aftermath between Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson, and we'll see what Seth's remarks is as they get ready for their anticipated match at SummerSlam. Shout out to King Shark 2573, and you gave us a gift, so thank you for everything that you do. As I mentioned with Seth Rollins, he will be kicking off the show tonight, and after an incredible victory and assistance from Karl Anthony Towns, we're going to get an appearance from Danhausen, who has been making a lot of waves within the Judgment Day, and very curious on what's he going to say. And we did find out that we are going to get an appearance from Chad Gable, but I found out that Chad Gable will be in tag team action tonight. He's teaming up with the reigning Intercontinental Champion Penta, who he will face at SummerSlam, and they'll be facing off against a team of Ethan Page and Rusev. And we also did find out right before their anticipated 6-man tag team match, LA Knight's going to go one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. All this and more happening at the top of the hour tonight on Raw, on Netflix at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and just continuing the fallout. Obviously, of course, I'm very excited for the Intercontinental Championship race because it does seem very interesting that Chad Gable does get a match in his home state of Minnesota, so that's really exciting. And I'm surprised there's no ladies matches advertised. So obviously, of course, we had Bayley versus Lyra at Saturday night's main event. Not sure what's going to happen, but hopefully we do get an appearance from Liv Morgan and Io Skye before their big match. And hopefully we get to see Sol Ruca, who's the reigning women's Intercontinental Championship. So all this and more is happening tonight on Monday Night Raw, and you don't want to miss it. Maybe we can get a Monday Nightmare. Maybe. But just a quick reminder, if you did miss Saturday night's main event, we're just going to do a quick recap of that show. Obviously, of course, shout out to Kyle from Knockouts in 3 podcast. They're doing amazing things. This actually kicked off the pre-show. Trick Williams taking on AAA's Laredo Kid. It was on the pre-show right before Saturday night's main event officially started. So congratulations to Trick Williams on getting the victory and continuing his reign as United States champion. And hopefully we get to see Carmelo Hayes get his title shot that we have been waiting for and anticipating it. And also we do have new tag team champions with Fatal Influence beating Brie Bella and Paige. They are definitely well-deserved of it. I'm very excited to see what their reign is going to look like. And it's going to be a little bit of a fatal influence in the women's tag team division. So congratulations to Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley on being the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And as I mentioned, Danhausen faced off against J.D. McDonough with some help from one of the superstars from the New York Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns. He got some help, but congratulations to Danhausen on getting the victory. And I found out he is undefeated so far. I think he's 13-0. Bose, you need to correct me on that. But he is 13-0 so far. So he has not lost a match yet. Very impressive record. So congratulations to Danhausen on picking up the victory. and also continuing his feud with the Judgment Day, because so far he's almost cursed everybody from the Judgment Day. Also, as I mentioned, this was actually a really good match. Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, which for me should have been at SummerSlam, but congratulations to both these ladies definitely bringing it. And also Lyra being a trooper because her nose was bloodied. Her nose was completely bloodied to the fullest. But Lyra is a trooper. She did pick up the victory over Bayley, and we're just going to see what's next for Bayley. We'll see what happens next for her, but congratulations to Lyra Valkyria. And then we had the tag team match that I think almost nobody wanted. We had Cody Rhodes and CM Punk teaming up with the unlikely duo of Sami Zayn and Gunther. The match did what it needed to do, but we saw an appearance from Nick Aldis, who has created a beef with Gunther, and he screwed Gunther out of the match. Very happy to see that match happening, and we did find out yesterday during the kickoff stream for SummerSlam that it'll be Nick Aldis taking on Gunther one-on-one. So super, super excited to see that. But the victory is CM Punk and Cody Rhodes taking the win, and congratulations to them. And we ended off with a segment, Jalen Brunson, the MVP of the New York Knicks, meeting with the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns, giving him a customized belt of the New York Knicks, which is pretty awesome to see. But of course, we had the party that was interrupted by Seth Rollins, and obviously, of course, Tyrese Halliburton. If you kind of recall, Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton had a little bit of a friction a year or two ago. So they resolved that. But unfortunately, Roman Reigns stayed on top and gave Jalen Brunson a customized belt. And I'm pretty sure we'll see Jalen Brunson soon. But that pretty much recaps Saturday night's main event. And congratulations to everybody. Also, sending lots of love to everybody that went to Fanatics Fest over the weekend. Everybody had an amazing time. I saw the photos, I saw the content. Everybody really had an amazing time, and I love seeing people from the wrestling world, the sports world, the pop culture world come together for one of the biggest weekends in sports. So shout out to everybody that went. I know my sister Honey went, and she shared her story a few times on her watch along last week and on the faction offer on Saturday. So I'm very happy that she got to have a wonderful, wonderful time and seeing that. So shout out to everybody that went to Fanatics Fest. I'm happy to see them. And also we do have New York Comic Con happening later in the fall. But also we did find out some major news that happened regarding WrestleMania next year. So even though WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi, we found out InfoSees Theater at MSG to host NXT Stand and Deliver, AAA, and be the official WrestleMania 43 watch party. WWE put out a press release today where they will be taking place in New York during WrestleMania 43 weekend in April 2027, creating a citywide moment for fans to celebrate the global two-night event. Prior to Stand and Deliver and AAA, WWE will host official WrestleMania 43 watch parties at InfoSees Theater, transforming the versatile venue into an immersive live viewing experience for the WWE Universe, complete with giant LED screens, brand activation, merchandise, and more. Additional details regarding official WrestleMania 43 watch parties in cities around the country, including major commercial venues and select Cosmo locations, will be announced soon. So it's just a little bit of a teaser, but I think a lot of things are shaping up. And I know we did talk about this earlier in the year and last year with WrestleMania coming into Saudi, because we were unsure what was going to happen and everything else. But obviously, New York City is a mecca city that everybody goes to. You have a lot of people coming into the East Coast, and it's a well-known city where you have people not just in the U.S., but all over the world, because New York City is well-known, and they do have a lot of destinations. I'm very curious on what is that going to look like, and also specific restrictions on what's going to happen in regards to doing the viewing parties, because obviously, of course, there was a situation where it was a radius that was in effect and everything else, but hopefully that actually does be in control and everything else, but we shall see. And I'm sure we'll probably get a lot of stuff happening. I do think a lot of independent stuff will probably take notice on it, especially because if you're right near North Jersey and New York, there's a lot of balance in there. But big news happening regarding WrestleMania weekend, and it's going to be in New York. Trying to see what other stories that we can do. Oh, a little bit of Stardom news. This is like the most news I've ever had of Stardom. Congratulations to Thekla, Julia Hart, and Skye Blue on being the Artist Championships Trios belt that they captured over the weekend through Stardom. Obviously, if you know, Thekla has an ongoing feud with Stardom. Shout out to Jeffrey in the chat. This has been an ongoing feud, and I feel like this is the most presence I've ever seen of Stardom since they partner with AEW. But I do like, this is a really great opportunity. I love that seeing superstars from AEW go to Stardom, especially if you've never been to New Japan or Stardom or any wrestling promotion over there. It does give a lot of opportunity, and that's supposed to be how a partnership works. Like that, like we've seen ladies from Stardom come into the US with AEW and MLW, but this is a good opportunity for some of the ladies to go overseas. I'm very excited. And also, you could say you're welcome to me because because for me, during the Forbidden Door media call, I actually asked Tony Khan, are we going to see a lot more presence of Stardom leading up to Wembley Stadium? And here we are. So you're welcome with that. But I'm happy to see Stardom is getting a lot more presence. Shout out to Boza and also Jeffrey in the chat. But yeah, Thekla has been a reign of terror, and I love it. And right before, shout out, congratulations to them, but they also have another challenge. They could be AEW Women's Tag Team Champions because Skye Blue and Julia Hart will be facing off against the Divine Dominion this Wednesday. So very interesting to see. Very happy to see gold on them, but congratulations to the Triangle of Madness for that. If I'm Thekla president, I would be, well, I mean, that's kind of his fault. And as Nigel McGuinness said, you're the creator. That's your monster. You got to own up to it. So congratulations to the Triangle of Madness on their latest achievement. But also another woman that's just achieving after achieving after achieving. And she's just doing everything that she can. Congratulations to Athena. She is the forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Shout out to Fightful for putting this out there. Athena, get this. Athena has 1,317 days as Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She beat out Roman Reigns, where Roman Reigns has 1,316 days as WWE Universal Champion. Now, I got to give congratulations to Athena. She did pass Roman Reigns, and I'm very, very happy to see that because I know in our WWT universe, they are Roman Reigns fans. We do have some fans, but you got to give credit where his credit's due. I'm very happy Athena is getting the recognition she deserves with that. There's a reason why she's the forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She has carried Ring of Honor on her back, and I said this for the last couple years of Ring of Honor. All their main event pay-per-views have been main evented by women, which is insane. Jeffrey, I didn't think she would last this long, but I'm so happy for Athena on getting this achievement. I would love for her to get the recognition she deserves. But of course, we know where that goes, especially with Ring of Honor. And you would think with the success that Athena has, you would thought at least they would get a TV deal by now. You would think. But, and that is true, Boza, but we have seen many ladies who face off against Athena in the main event. And I'm very, very happy to see that. And yes, Jeffrey, I said this for the last couple of weeks because after what she said to Meyer World, after Forbidden Door, oh my goodness, that would be insane. But we are going to celebrate Athena because she deserves it. And I can't think of anybody more deserving than her. Now, well, Bosa, that is true. Chris Jericho, I think there's a way. I think there's a way to do that. I think if anybody could do it, I think it would be Athena convincing. And I think I may have to post my question that I did in the media script for Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, because this woman has done so much, and I feel like she has done wonders. But congratulations to the forever Ring of Honor Women's Championship. She is just achieving upon achieving upon achieving everything else. And there's actually an interesting story that I wanted to go into. So, Paige. And also, if you did not know, so I think this was happened over the weekend during Fanatics Fest. Nikki and Brie had their show, and they brought in AJ Lee and Paige from over the weekend. This was interesting because Paige stated she has all of her AEW, but before coming back to WWE at WrestleMania 42, Paige has spent the last several years of her career, obviously, with AEW. She commented on her time in the company during an appearance on the Nikki and Brie show. She stated that she enjoyed her time there, but her heart was not in it because she's always been a WWE girl. Paige added that she's got nothing but love for AEW and company president Tony Khan. She pretty much goes on to say, well, I did go to AEW and you guys, I did have a great time there, but my heart wasn't in it. And I feel like you could see that in my performance when I was in the ring there, and my character, it was just like, I'm a WWE girl. I love WWE. And so, yeah, I went there for a couple years and we went our separate ways, and it ended really, really great. And I have nothing but love when it comes to AEW and Tony and stuff like that. But yeah, when it comes to WWE, that's just where I wanted to be forever. While with AEW, Paige became obviously the AEW Women's World Championship. We knew that she won it in the first year they did All In at Wembley Stadium. And pretty much you can listen to the full interview from the Nikki and Brie show. But we kind of know WWE has been her bread and butter. She made an impact when she first started in WWE. I think people really tend to forget about the impact. Obviously, of course, with Mercedes and Bianca and even some of the girls, you can't forget about some of the impact, not only Emma, Paige, AJ Lee, and I'll throw in Caitlyn too. They all made a lot of impact there. Even when Paige came into NXT, she was the anti-diva. She made every single impact. And it's so hard because she has definitely achieved a lot. I was very disappointed after she won the AEW Women's Championship. It was like there wasn't that much rivalry in place. And that's what made me sad. And the thing about it, when she was at AEW, you didn't even let her cross paths with Mercedes Moné, because especially after the accident that happened, even though Mercedes and Paige, like bygones be bygones, apparently some people are still giving ripped up on it, which I don't know why, but Paige has always been WWE. That was her dream, but I'm happy she did achieve success being the women's champion in her home country, but that was only her dream. And it's really sad too, because there were some rivalries, as I said, we did miss out on. And I kind of wish they did help elevate the women's division, especially after being the first year of Wembley Stadium where they were sold out. But of course, there was a situation with the next pay-per-view afterwards. So that was very hard to do. And also not giving enough time to really absorb and really think about the women's division. And I think this is something myself and all of our panelists have said, like, AEW needs to figure out their identity with their women's division. I mean, yeah, you have Toni Storm, you have Mercedes and everybody else, but please don't forget about the rest of your women in that division. There is so many good women in that division. You can make really great stories. As I said, I would love to see Jamie Hayter be AEW Women's Champion in 2027? Same thing with Willow Nightingale. Is it her time to shine as AEW Women's Champion? Because I just realized if Willow Nightingale wins, she would be the first woman from the AEW Women's division to be Triple Crown champion. Well, to be fair, Boza, Toni Storm, because Toni achieved a lot of success with Timeless before Mercedes got there. Let's be very clear. And I'm not saying that just because of Toni, but Toni Storm was already successful before Mercedes got there. It just sucks because there's so many other women out there. And don't forget about the ones that really held it down, especially during the pandemic. Because when the pandemic happened, it was just like, okay, you don't forget about Cheetah, don't forget about Britt Baker, don't forget about Nyla Rose and Rio and Chris Statlander, Penelope, all those ladies that held it down during the pandemic. And got to give definitely got to give credit to them. But very happy Paige is back home. She's back home with WWE, and I'm hoping she does have a singles run. She deserves a singles run. I think she deserves a singles run. I would love it too. So we'll see what Paige does, because I'm very excited to see what she does. But also another exciting thing that we have, and before I do, is the Women's Wrestling Archive that's created by our own boss lady. So we get to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of women's wrestling.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might think he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Support everything for the Women's Wrestling Archive. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, anything else. And that is true, Jeffrey. You can't deny that she did help them wrestle. And with the fact, too, she did help. She was actually the person behind the mini Monet puppet with Harley Cameron. So she did help elevate the women's division just a little bit wrestling-wise, which I don't know. Writing so. Oh my goodness. Well, to be fair, and also with that too, she did help, and she's put on banger of matches. Well, we know she's put on banger of matches before she got into AEW, but it was her idea to have Mini Monet. That was her idea, so I do give her credit on that. And plus, she betted on herself and she did what she needed to do. I'm just saying, don't throw all the other women under the bus. Just don't do that. But, and it's really interesting. So we had a very interesting story over the weekend during Fanatics Fest. So apparently Fanatics Fest happened during the weekend, and a lot of content creators were there. But one content creator and streamer in particular, Neon, made headlines in the wrestling community where he was caught streaming when Penta walked by without his mask on. Neon was immediately told that there should be no cameras on. He said he would delete the footage. Apparently, the streamer did attend Saturday night's main event and was acknowledged during the broadcast. While streaming at the event, he said that he apologized to Penta and went on to apologize to the public, saying it was a misunderstanding where he was told he could stream in the area and Penta was told he could take his mask off in that area. But he goes on to say, it was never my intention. I would never do that on purpose. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting when you hear stories like this. And this is not to take away from all the streamers and everybody else, but I think there needs to be because this is for me working in the PR industry, we do have specific guidelines when it comes to code of ethics and stuff like this. But obviously, of course, not many people are going to follow the rules. And of course, you have people, not just in the PR industry, but also in the content creation that are going to be problematic. But of course, you see them on TV doing stuff. And sometimes even the most controversial stuff gets thrown under the rug, and not to take anyone's success, but I do think there should be a lot of responsibility. I know we did talk about with content creators because WWE is trying to crack down content creators and shut them down, but we see them use their footage anyway. We saw them use their footage recently at Night of Champions, and I think that's something that needs to be that is true, need their own club in WWE, but I think this is something that needs to be reconsidered on doing specific guidelines on what can the entire content creation does, because with wrestling, pretty much not just wrestling, but like pop culture, boy bands, everything else, it's like everything is oversaturated at this point. But I do think it is something to think of, like certain guidelines on what to do and what not to do. And I don't know him very well, but with the fact where they did tell him to delete the video, it's kind of like, you got to delete the video. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just, you have to be very unsure. And I think it's also something important too, especially for me, because even though I work in PR and I'm learning being in this space of this, like the interviews, the content creators, but I do think there needs to be rules, not just in WWE, but in everywhere, from AEW to TNA to New Japan, MLW, even the independent shows. I think it's also really important to really create that balance and also really finding a healthy relationship. Obviously, of course, you're going to have problematic streamers, people, wherever you go. It is what it is, but also needs to focus on ourselves and also trying to be better people. And this is why we have a platform like Women's Wrestling Talk, because we have some cool content creators that are doing amazing things. And that's what I love about it. I guess we could wrap up with one more story before we get out of here. So congratulations to Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, because we did talk about this last year. Liv Morgan's film Bad Lieutenant Tokyo to premiere at the 2026 Toronto International Film Festival. And let me see if I can get this. So that's big news. The lineup for this year's Toronto International Film Festival was revealed on Monday, July 20th, today. Aside from films like I Play Rocky and Misty Green, the lineup is littered with a number of exciting titles. Bad Lieutenant Tokyo, a new film starring Liv Morgan, will have its world premiere at the festival this September. And it pretty much goes on to say, we go back to last year. She was cast in the film back last May in 2025. She wrapped up her filming dates that the movie is set to in the fall, and really, really excited. The rest of the people that are in the movie, such as Lily James, you've probably seen her in the movie Cinderella. And the film follows a Tokyo police officer and a compulsive gambler that get involved in a complex investigation. As of published time, a general release date has not been announced for the film. Fightful reported it, and there should be more coming. So I'm very excited to see this. I'm super, super excited, especially after hearing that Damian Priest is going to work in Marvel. Yay! Now seeing this, I'm very excited that a lot of wrestlers are getting opportunity. We've seen it not just with Damian, but with Liv. We're seeing this with Jade, and also with the fact too, it's always something happening to it. But it makes me really happy that they are getting opportunities, and I think they should not gatekeep. I don't think there should be no gatekeeping whatsoever, but I'm very happy for Liv and just getting the opportunity she deserves. I did see her be glamorous in the ESPY Awards last week. Her, along with Cody, his wife Brandy, and many others. And that just makes me happy. It makes trouble hits the screens. That is very cute, Jeffrey. That is very, very cute. And I do appreciate that. Try to be one of the best, but it's always hard to do. But congratulations to Liv Morgan. Oh, Boza, you missed it. I did do the Raw preview. So we are going to get not just LA Knight versus Jacob Funk 2, but we do have a tag team match announced tonight. Chad Gable and Penta will be facing off against Ethan Page and Rusev in tag team action. So that's the other match that's announced. But also, we're going to have Seth kicking off the show. We're going to see Danhausen make an appearance. I'm hoping we do see ladies happening. But that wraps up the Monday edition of WWT Live. I covered most of the stories, but it's all good, Boza. Very happy to spend it with all of you. You guys know where to find me because I'll be chirping sporadically on WWT Live as much as I can. Wednesdays, are for the Timeless Elite because we have AEW Dynamite happening. We're at the final stop right before Redemption. There will be a watch along for Redemption this weekend. Also, with the fact too, Thursdays, you get to hang with me because we're wrapping up the first round of the TNA Knockouts TV tournament. Very excited for that. I have to see what's going on in Philly because there's a lot of stuff, and TNA is coming to town next week. So I have to see what's going on there because we're trying to do media for TNA, and hopefully we do get that done next week. So TBD on both Dynamite and TNA next week. If I'm not doing watch-alongs, you know where I'll be. But also make sure to follow ISBW Wrestling. Shout out to Tommy Fear and the rest of the crew. Their big show at Wildwood is this Thursday. So make sure to hang out in Wildwood if you're in the area. We do have Ted DiBiase being the general manager for the night. And we do have some matches that are already announced. So many great people for ISBW. So make sure to check out some of the people at ISBW. They're doing great stuff. I just have to see the next time I'm doing commentary, but they are putting up a lot of shows for the summer. Please, please, please support. Also, as I said, make sure to follow my socials, Courtney NJ11 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm doing amazing stuff, have a lot of content happening, and make sure to follow the rest of the panel for WWT. We are doing amazing work. Obviously, of course, I do watch along for Thursday for TNA, but make sure to check out my siblings from Kayfabe Podcast because they'll be back this week after taking a much-deserved vacation last week. They are back this week, and yeah, it's just the summer of wrestling because we have a lot of stuff happening. NWA is coming to town this weekend. TNA coming next week in Philly. SmackDown's supposed to be coming next month. We have All In, Wembley Stadium, MLW coming back to Philly in October. We have a lot of stuff happening. So much happening. But I do want to leave this here because today was a very serious note. If you guys know my day job, I do work in PR. I do work in media. I have been following the story regarding Nolan Wells, and this is not a political thing or anything else, but it's just a really reminder to really be kind to people. And also making sure to check on people because it is a scary time that we're happening, scary environments that we're in. But please make sure to be kind to others, make a difference in your community, and make sure that you are doing well. Shout out to Compton Mania. Happy that you're in the chat. But as I was saying, being a PR person and following the story, it does break my heart a bit because this is a young Black man seeing this every day. But also making sure this does affect everybody, not just people of color. It affects everyone. So please make sure to check on your loved ones to make sure they're okay. Just be kind to others. Make a difference in your community because yes, there is a lot of evil and nastiness in the world, but don't be afraid to spread kindness as you go. Make sure to spread kindness. Stay hydrated and drink a lot of water. But as I said, at the end of the day, just be kind to others and also be self-aware of everything that's happening. But that's my PSA that I have for today. And thank you all for joining Monday's edition of Women's Wrestling Talk. Shout out to Jeffrey. Shout out to Boza. Shout out to Compton Mania. Just shout out to our producer from the future, Dylan, because I know he has that clip for Monday Night Raw. Shout out to Eric Isaac. Also, shout out to King Shark 2273, Lewis Johnson, all of you for joining with us for Women's Wrestling Talk. We want to appreciate all of you because, yes, it is a busy summer, but we got you ready for Monday Night Raw. And thank you so much for supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great evening. Enjoy Monday Night Raw, and we'll see you back on Wednesday.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.